I want to talk a little bit about inflation and kind of put a little bit more on this and what Tyler did. This is from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, and it's showing, you've probably seen this on the news, especially with President Biden giving his speech today. You know, it's been all over at 7% inflation over the last 12 months. You know, I mean, everybody on this call has felt it at the pumps, right? Okay, unless you drive an electric car, okay? But even with that, you got heating oil, you got all kinds of other things. And so all I want to point out here tonight is that everybody think, oh, it's only 7%. Well, first of all, it goes from 1.4 to 7% is a lot, okay? It's tremendous. But it's really more than that, because you've really stopped them, because they're taking everything into consideration when they do this. Everything, okay? Well, if you go ahead and look at the things that you buy every day, every month, it's much higher than 7%. Look at energy there, up almost 30%. God help the people on the East Coast, right? Or the Midwest, all right? Their fuel cost has gone through the roof. Cars, every one of you on this call tonight, you know that you can sell your used car for 30 to 40% more than you could sell it for a year ago, okay? And a lot of people have, you know? Maybe that's why Uber's getting more popular. I'm taking Uber, right? You know, but all I'm saying is if you take the 15 products that you actually buy every month, it is, in my estimation, closer to 15 to 20%. It's not 7%. That's a smokescreen. They want to make you believe it's 7, but you know in your heart of hearts, when you fill up your tank with gas, it's way more than 7%, right? Okay, because you know it's just unbelievable how much it costs. So, okay, now this here, another thing is, it says inflation rate is nowhere near historical peaks. Well, no, it's not. Okay, but it's kind of like playing it down like it isn't all that bad. Well, I lived through this, okay, and I was in real estate, and I was buying and selling real estate and owning real estate in this period in the 80s, okay, and prime was 21.5, and we were closing mortgages, as I said on previous calls, at 17.5%. For most of you on this call, that's got to be at least 5 to 6 times higher than what you're paying right now. So I have to ask you, if your payment was 6 times higher tonight than where you're living at, how long would you live where you live? And we all know the answer, right? Not very long. Okay, it'd be on the market and you'd be selling it. So all I'm saying is crucial. We don't even want to get near this time, okay? Because I lived it and it wasn't fun, okay? And so, but you can see here at 7.1, which we really know it's higher than 7.1, right? On the real things we're buying. Okay, so you're getting close to there, but they try to play it down. So all I'm sharing with you here is, how do you protect yourself against this? It's like a runaway train, right? It's exactly what it is. And it's like you can't stop it. Well, I think the best example I got, and that is, you know, I have a good friend, and she was able to sell her business, and she was able to put a couple $1 million in her pocket. And I was trying to explain to her about inflation. You know, you want to make sure your money is going to be worth the same. And she was having a hard time wrapping her head around it. She goes, well, no, if I don't spend the $2 million that I have in the bank, I'll still have $2 million next year. I go, yeah, but it won't buy as much. She goes, what do you mean? It'll still be $2 million. Well, I think this example here shows it best, because you got the same $20, but here you got a basket full. In 2021, you got 2 items. Okay, that's what inflation is. It's a silent killer, and people don't wake up and smell the roses, and it kills them. And all of a sudden, you wake up 15, 20 years later, and go, what happened? Where did all this come from? Well, this is what happened. Okay, and it all has to do with inflation. Now, thank God for years we've had inflation under control. Okay. But that's not the case today. So basically, your best defense on inflation is buying properties, because values are going to increase. Rental rates, you know, they have been soaring. They leveled off a little bit in December, you know, but they'll be coming back. And then appreciation can offset the inflation. At worst case scenario, you can do what I call hold serve. So if you're worth, let's say, $1 million, okay, in 3 years from now, you can still be worth $1 million instead of $700,000. Does that make any sense? Because if you leave that cash in the bank, that's what's going to happen. So even myself today, okay, because of inflation, I have re-engineered some of the things that I'm doing in real estate and pulling some equities out, stripping some of the equity out and buying properties. Okay, I'm not going to over leverage myself. Okay, and you got to look at, and which we can help you with as far as, you know, your age and your income, but you can still buy properties, but you don't want to over leverage. Okay, you want to make sure you have adequate reserves on hand to take care of the unexpected. But right now is a great time to consider refining, because your interest rates are still super low. Okay, and don't worry about if it goes from 2.5 to 2 3/4 or 3.5. It kills me after living through prime at 21.5 and interest rates at 17.5. People like me, we look at that and they say, "Oh, that's silly. Why even have the conversation if it changes a point or so?" Okay, but you could pull some equity out, even if you don't pull it all out. Just pull out maybe 50%. You know, if you have a $200,000 home, and it's free and clear, pull out $100,000 and buy another property and set up your reserves accordingly. But now's a great time to do this, because my feeling of it is this inflation is going to be around for a little while. Okay, this is not going to go away, especially with the national debt that we have in our hands and the other thing with the pandemic. I think we need to prepare. And I don't share this with anybody on this call to frighten you, but I share it with you to let you know that's what I'm doing. In fact, there were just in Las Vegas, it was the Hard Rock just bought another major hotel for over $1 billion because they want to hedge against inflation. Okay, so it isn't just us little guys; it's the big guys are thinking the same thing, because they want to hold serve while they're going through this. So, okay, any questions on that?
Well, I think we had a question that kind of goes along with what you were just saying. What they say. So, does the inflation rate, does it help buyers or sellers, and then what effect will it have on rental rates?
Well, first of all, it's definitely going to help as far as the owners of properties, okay, or in your case, it'd be a seller, okay. As far as a buyer, okay, the longer you wait, the more it's going to hurt, because the values are going to go higher on the real estate. And the other factor that we've been kind of spoiled with is because the interest rate has kind of been in that 3-4 area for a number of years, right? It goes up a little bit, maybe 4.5, now down to 2 3/4, but it hasn't really varied that much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's not going to happen forever. Okay, we could wake up and see interest rates back at 5-6%. Okay, and then everybody's going to think like Tyler said, "I wish I'd have bought that Tesla stock, you know, at $38 a share, and now it's trading at 6,400 or whatever." But the bottom line of it is you want to make certain that those kinds of things aren't forever. Okay, and the prices are going to continue, you know, to go up. So to me, you know, if I'm a seller and owner of property, I'm holding and pulling equity out and buying more real estate in a conservative way. Okay, if I'm a buyer, I'm getting into the market. And like I said before on this webinars, you know, everybody goes, "Well, should I buy or not?" And they have this, what I call inner civil war with themselves, right? Well, I don't know. Is it a good time? It looks like the property values are going to drop now, or the interest rates are changing. You know, if you got a dartboard at home, go home, pick the dart up, throw it, whatever house it lands on, buy it, as long as you can afford it. That's what I did in 1976. That's what I did. Okay, and you can't go wrong on that. But you got to make sure, when I say that, make sure obviously you can afford it and you have your reserves. You guys know where I'm coming from there. So